Greetings, fellow Helldiver. Are you a brave soul looking for a challenge? Well, you're in luck. Today, we are walking through the most difficult way to play Helldivers 2, Solo Deathless Extract. The mission is simple: complete all of the main objectives and extract without dying. Today, we will be reviewing a quick Blitz, search and destroy mission on Helldive difficulty to equip you with the knowledge you will need to crush the Terminid scum all by yourself, with a little help from your pal Sour Weasel. Let's go spread some democracy. First up, let's pick our drop location. Usually, it's advisable to select a drop location close to main objectives on open map games. However, for Blitz missions, the extract is usually the best drop point. Blitz missions have a significantly lower time bank than other open map missions, 12 minutes as opposed to 40 minutes. This means there is much less time to adequately shape the extract by calling in resupplies, support weapons, and sentries, so we want to get this done as soon as we drop in. We also want to ensure that extract does not have any garrisons or bug holes near it. You will inevitably be rushing back to the extract after mission completion due to the low timer, usually with enemies following you, so encountering and clearing a garrison at extract can give the pursuing enemies time to catch up with you, making it much harder to call extract and supporting stratagems. Remember, Helldiver, it's treason to get surrounded. Next, let's select our loadout. Our go-to default loadout for soloing Helldive difficulty is as follows. For our stratagems, we take shield pack, quasar cannon, 500 kilogram bomb, and a sentry, either Tesla or Gatling. I almost always take Tesla Tower for Blitz missions because of its lower cooldown. As a special mention, several other stratagems are strong for Blitz missions, namely the Eagle Airstrike and Grenade Launcher. However, for solo Deathless runs, having an answer for Bile Titan is priority number 1, so swapping off of Quasar Cannon and 500 kilogram bomb is ill-advised. For our weapons kit, I take Breaker Incendiary, the new GP31 grenade pistol, and incendiary grenades. I opted for the grenade pistol over the standard Redeemer pistol to test it out on this run. In theory, the 8 extra grenades should have much higher utility for us since they can interact with bug holes. We will need to conserve our primary ammo, knowing we can't fall back on our secondary for wave clear. Redeemer is still probably better for longer matches, where it's more likely that you run out of primary ammo and need to interact well with light enemies with your secondary. We take Scout Armor and Stamina Enhancement to maximize our speed and stealthiness. Our core philosophy with this loadout is we want to be able to interact with everything. And remember, Helldiver, running is also an interaction. Our general strategy for Blitz missions is to drop in, call in our support stratagems, and secure the extract. Identify and eliminate any spore spewers, shrieker nests, and stalker nests. Then find and eliminate the heavy nest. Blitz missions have 1 to 2 heavy nests. You will usually not be able to meet the mission quota for bug holes by just clearing light and medium nests, and should prioritize your time and ammo economy on finding and clearing the heavy nest. Note that you do not need to full clear any nest. You just have to destroy enough bug holes to fill the mission quota. Also note that Shrieker and Stalker nests count towards the total. This was a rather easy drop-in, with the drop placing us on high ground with good view of the map. The only visible enemy structure is a Shrieker nest in the distance, which becomes our immediate priority to eliminate. I also go ahead and activate the Tesla Tower and toss it into the first patrol. I want to both create some space to take out the Shrieker nest, and also just to activate the Tesla Tower as quickly as possible to maximize the number of times I can use it. It's a good idea to take out the heavies from the patrol before activating Tesla Tower, but I don't have access to Quasar Cannon without leaving high ground. And once I drop down, I need to focus on the Shrieker nest and finding the heavy nest. I notice that there is elevated ground to the right and decide to path that way to get a higher vantage point on the Shrieker nest. This pathing brings us right into the first heavy nest. Our mission is to clear 14 holes, so a full clear of this nest, plus the 3 Shrieker structures, will put us just 1 short of the mission. I go ahead and focus on this heavy nest for the time being, since the Shrieker nest is 300 meters away, so there is little danger of pathing into its 130-meter spawn activation range. The general strategy for heavy nests is to run a ring around the nest on the high ground above it, weaving in quasar and grenade pistol shots on the bug holes. As the garrison gets aggroed, they will start to press you on the high ground. There are only a few ways the bugs can get to the high ground, so even though they've aggroed you, you will be able to keep distance from them by continuing around the circle. If they are getting too close, or if you're about to make a full pass around the nest and back into enemies, you can place a sentry behind you to cover your flank while you deal with what's in front of you. If the entire garrison clears out, you also can drop into the nest and work on the bug holes with your grenades in addition to your weapons. After the garrison calls bug breach, you will likely want to leave the nest and clear another objective, then path back once the bug breach is finished and you deal with any heavies that are pressuring you. The garrison drops bug breach on me, so I decide to keep moving and finish the Shrieker nest. I'm able to clear it before the bugs can get to me and bring the total to 8 holes cleared. The bug breach spawned a Bile Titan. Titans are fearsome opponents because they outrun us and aren't as easily interrupted by terrain as other enemies. Getting aggroed by a Titan immediately puts you on a clock to find an answer. Our kit deals with Titans by dropping a 500-kilogram bomb on them, then finishing them off with quasar shots. 500-kilogram bomb should be placed approximately 25 to 30 meters in front of a Bile Titan, adjusting for whether its Bile attack is on cooldown. We get the one-hit KO on this Titan, which just leaves chargers and light enemies. The first charger is easy enough to finish off by steering it into a rock. I go ahead and call down sentry to de-aggro the enemies, then pick off a second charger before it can clear the Tesla tower. You can tell if you got the kill shot on an enemy if the targeting ping disappears. Fortunately, the bug breach pushed us into a second heavy nest, which gives us more than enough bug holes to complete the mission. Again, the plan is to run around the nest in a circle on the high ground while using our support weapons to clear the holes. I also go ahead and drop resupply close to the first nest, so I have access to it on the way back. I drop into the nest here, since most of the garrison clears out to the high ground, and I'm not afraid of an immediate bug breach having just dealt with one. A charger forces me back to high ground, and I get bug breached shortly after. With the pressure now on again, I path back to the resupply, with the goal of moving back to the first heavy nest to secure the last bug hole kill and head to extract. I noticed that the bug breach spawned another Bile Titan. Since I only have one eagle up, I get it down as soon as possible so it will come off of cooldown before reaching the extract. Even if this one isn't perfect, the goal is to add damage to the Titan that we can then finish with quasar cannon. I briefly considered dropping into the nest to shake off the Titan with the change in terrain, but think better of it since there's only one bug hole left. and this could create a situation where I'm trapped between enemies spawning from the bug holes and the aggroed Titan. Also, the remaining bug holes are mainly on this side of the nest, so we'll have better angles on them from the other side anyway. Instead, I decide to default back to our strategy of running a circle around the nest and fight the Titan, while also looking to use grenade pistol to close the last hole if I have breathing room between quasar shots. I'm able to finish the Titan by dodging its bile spew attack with a diving shot. As an aside, this is a mechanic you should think about implementing because it gives you a lot more options against heavies. You are almost always better off running away from spewing enemies while their attack is off cooldown because you can react to their attack by diving vertically away with a slight angle. This is usually pretty safe, even against Titans, as long as you are on even terrain and have a healthy stamina bar. On the other hand, if you are fighting spewing enemies, you should never dive backwards away from their attack because they can track this easily, a lot of times while you're still in the air, and finish you. You should always dive horizontally, basically a 90-degree angle either right or left from a spewer attack when you are standing and fighting it. This works well against bile spewers because their attacks don't last very long, but bile Titan attacks last for your entire dive and stand cycle, and they can finish you by continuing the attack if you aren't finding cover with the dive. Democracy, in her infinite mercy and compassion, has blessed the quasar cannon with a stagger effect. This will allow you to cancel the Titan's attack, making it possible to kite the initial attack with the horizontal leap. Quasar cannon can kill a Titan with 2 shots, but I usually plan to take between 4 to 6 when mapping out my pathing. Also to note here, the optimal way to dodge a charger is to actually dive forward at an angle past one of its legs. This unfortunately will bring you closer to the other enemies that are chasing you, so be sure to run away as far as possible before you need to make the dive. With the heavies down, we have space to look for the last bug hole. I use ammo on the hunter, so it doesn't stagger me when I'm lining up the shot. I use quasar since I've definitely learned how hard the pistol is to use at range. Mission success. We've cleared enough bug holes and can start thinking about extract. I go ahead and drop Tesla Tower here to de-aggro and make it a bit easier to reach extract. This effectively gives me 2 Teslas at extract, since these bugs will follow me there if I don't clear them, and I should get another one before match end.
Have a taste of democracy!
I'm able to make it to extract without much resistance, other than an overconfident brood commander. While you should usually call your support items in before calling extract, we are on a clock and not facing much pressure. I clear out the brood commander who almost bug breaches. It's probable we'll get incoming patrols from the direction of the heavy nest, but I want to also check the other side of extract where the first patrol at the start of the game spawned. Your first order of business should be to engage incoming patrols, prioritizing chargers then hunters. There is a charger patrol here, so I soften it up by taking out the charger and feeding a grenade to the rest of the light enemies. I turn to check the other flank, and a patrol has made it all the way to the middle of extract. As I start to engage it, it drops bug breach. This is not ideal. Fortunately, we dealt with the incoming charger wave, so can push back out that way without much resistance while we work on a plan. I start to path clockwise, but quickly realize I've been cut off by another patrol, and engaging here will push us further outside of the extract range. Only option is to go back and try to break through to the other side. I'm able to find a channel along the wall and get to some cover. Tesla Tower has just come off of cooldown, so I call that in to buy some time. The charger somehow kept its charge going over the rock, forcing a dive, and I get staggered on uneven ground. I'm able to get up, bait the charger's stomp attack, then keep running counterclockwise, right into a Titan. Now I'm under pressure to find an answer, so I eagle it and swing back, keeping a wide angle away from the charger. Hunters have joined the fray, so I have to start weaving primary ammo shots as I try to get back to the space created by the Tesla Tower. I get double tapped by a hunter, which almost KOs me, but I get a stim off just before getting knocked back by a charger. The stim invulnerability saves me, and we can drop our second eagle into the mass of heavies that are aggroing the sentry. Finally, some breathing room. With our head up, we need to start thinning the light enemy herd. Priority fire is hunters first, then anything close, so our shotgun is effective. It does feel noticeably stronger after the recent buff. We are also able to take out a charger. This hunter didn't take any damage and is able to double tap, forcing a stim. A Bile Titan is incoming, so the plan now is to rotate to the opposite side of extract and put as much distance as we can between it and us before taking direct aggro to eat up the clock. This charger took eagle damage and has submitted to the will of freedom. We've cleared a lot of enemies from extract, so it's relatively clean. I make sure to refill supplies before heading to the edge of extract range. Out of stratagem options to deal with the Titan, I throw resupply as a last-ditch effort to get some value before beginning to rotate. 3 Titans? Joel have mercy. It looks like a bug breach happened, but the notification didn't trigger. With no real way to deal with this, our only option is to keep rotating and run out the clock. Fortunately, we are rotating around a high wall, so the Titans can't take a direct path toward us. So we simply swing around and beeline for the landing pelican, completing the solo Deathless extract run.
Pelican 1 landing sequence initiated. Watch where you're standing.
This is a good time to offer my thanks to you for watching this guide and to congratulate you on making it this far. The tips and tricks you've learned here today will serve you well on your journey to deliver democracy to the galaxy. It will help the channel immensely if you can like and subscribe, and provide feedback on what kinds of guides and videos you'd like to see going forward. Remember, Helldiver, freedom starts with you. Go forth and spread democracy. First up, let's pick our drop location. Usually, it's advisable to select a drop location close to main objectives on open map games. However, for Blitz missions, the extract is usually the best drop point. Blitz missions have a significantly lower time bank than other open map missions, 12 minutes as opposed to 40 minutes. This means there is much less time to adequately shape the extract by calling in resupplies, support weapons, and sentries, so we want to get this done as soon as we drop in. We also want to ensure that extract does not have any garrisons or bug holes near it. You will inevitably be rushing back to the extract after mission completion due to the low timer, usually with enemies following you, so encountering and clearing a garrison at extract can give the pursuing enemies time to catch up with you, making it much harder to call extract and supporting stratagems. Remember, Helldiver, never put yourself between your enemies.